So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for today's discussion. And of course, we are meeting after 2 days. After 2 days, it looks like a morning blue. Huh? So I hope that today is a very important topic we're going to discuss on chapter 6, how to identify pure devotees, how the pure devotees are. All right. So before we do that, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanathmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padai Krishna Prishtai Bhutali Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunya Vadipasa Charistarine Nama Om Vishnu Padai Krishna Prishtai Bhutali Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitai Kripabdaya Krishna Sambandha Viknana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktina Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtai Lina Tarini Rupanuga Viruddha Pasitanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtai Vipranambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidaranda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannataya Te Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paditanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Garatise Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Guru Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so let's do this. Sat Goswami Astaka. Namo Vishnu Krishna Sabhuta Krishna Jayapata Swami Namacharya Padai Mitra Krishno Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Prema Mritambo Nidhi Dira Dira Jana Priya 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 Karau Nirmat Sarau Pujitau Sri Chaitanya Kripa Barau Bhuvi Bhuvoba Paravahantarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Nana Sastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Sat Dharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hita Karinau Tribhuvane Manyau Saranya Karau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajanandana Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Sri Gauranga Gunanuvarnana Viddau Shraddha Samridhyan Vitau Papottapa Nikrintanau Tanubritam Govinda Ganamritai Anandam Buddhi Vardhanaika Nipunau Kaivalya Nistarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Tyaktva Turna Ashesha Mandala Pati Shrenim Sada Tuchchavat Bhutva Dina Ganesha Kau Karunaya Kaupina Kanta Shritau Gopi Bhava Rasa Mritabdi Lahari Kalola Maknau Muhur Vande Rupa Sanatanau Ragyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Pujat Kokila Hangsa Sarasa Gana Kirne Mayurat Kule Nana Ratna Nibaddha Mula Vitapa Sri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishnam Ahar Nisam Prabhajatau Jivar Tadau Yamuda Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Natibi Kala Vasani Kritau Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijitau Chatyan Tadinau Chayau Radha Krishna Guna Smritir Madhuri Manandena Sammohitau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Radha Kunda Tata Kalinda Tanaya Tirecha Vangsivate Premon Mada Vasat Ashesha Dasav Grastau Pramattau Sada Gayantau Cha Kada Harir Guna Varam Bavabi Hutau Muda Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau He Radhe Vraja Devike Cha Lalite He Nanda Sunokuta Shri Govardhana Kalpa Padapotale Kalindi Vanakuta Goshantau Iti Sarvato Vraja Pure Keder Mahavihvalau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau. So today we're going to read number 6, huh? Engage in chanting holy name of the Lord, going down, okay? All right, number 7, sorry. I offer my respectful obeisances unto 6 Goswami, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were sometimes on the bank of Radhakund lake of the shores of Yamuna, and sometimes at Vamsivata. There they appeared just like a madman in full ecstasy of love for Krishna, exhibiting different transcendental symptoms in their bodies, and they were merged in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, welcome. So, seeing after 2 days break, so I hope that you all are doing well. And Nectar of Instruction, I hope that you are all studying the book. Before even we start, I hope that you all are studying the book, because this book is exactly a total nectarian process. Because here Rupa Goswami is revealing the secret how a person from a normal sadhaka, right, can achieve to the highest level. Okay, and what is the do's and don'ts. Okay, so first thing is the possibilities everyone that have in us is to become a pure devotee. Every one of us got the thing of a pure devotee. Okay, like in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, okay, chapter 2, second wave, text 1, 276. All right, it says, Utpanna Rataya Samyan Naivirknyam Anupagata Krishna Sakshat Kritau Yogya Sadaka Parikirtita. All right, Parikirtita. What it says, one in whose heart Rati or Bhava for Sri Krishna has already manifested, who has become qualified to perceive the direct manifestation of the Lord, but who has not yet obtained complete freedom from obstacles, is called Sadhaka Bhakta. So that all of us are trying to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness, and we are trying our best, even though that we have not achieved that thing, okay, because our heart is already melted, okay, our heart is already melted, and we have already accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there's no doubt about it. And also we also realize that we are in this great glorious parampara. Okay, we are under this Gaudiya, Madhva Gaudiya, Brahma Madhva, sorry, not Madhva, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we are in this such a glorious Sampradaya, and in this Sampradaya, we are trying to improve ourselves, right? So whatever said and done, we are in the right place, we are in the right movement, and we are in the right association. So now what I should do to this thing, all right, to improve myself. So the first thing is, he says, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam. You have to control the way your activity is. Okay. What is activity? Like eating, like eating and the urge to speak, the urge of no Vacho Vegam, the urge to speak, Manasa Krodha Vegam. Okay. The urge of the mind, all right, and the demand of the mind, sorry. Then anger, then tongue, belly, genitals. Okay. Everything in a straight line. Okay. We have to subdue it. And how to subdue it? When a person is very sober. How the person can be very sober? When when he's very enthusiastically studies the Sastra, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, Bhagavad Gita. So when we study this, we know when a person becomes sober is when the person is somehow or other devoid of false ego, false identification. Okay. Why the false identification can activate it? When our mind and our intelligence is polluted. Okay. So we chant Hare Krishna to purify our mind. We study the books to purify our intelligence. When these two get purified, then our false ego is purified. When the false ego is purified, when I don't have any false identification, I'm an Indian, I am this, I am that. So that's when a person becomes sober. In that state of sober, the person can automatically control the demand of the mind, the demand of the tongue, the anger, to satisfy the genitals, the belly, and all these straight line. So what happened? The advantage, if you could do that, you could able to make disciple all over the world. So this making disciple all over the world, what does that mean? That means you can become a perfect devotee. Okay. So then after that, don'ts. All right. First thing, Rupa Goswami starts with don'ts. What are the things that you should avoid? All right. Nitya hara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangacha laulyamcha sadbir bhaktir vinashati. All right. You should avoid eating more than necessary. All right. Collecting more fun than necessary. Endeavoring for something which is useless. Taking unnecessary, talking all these nonsense things. Practicing scripture just for sake of it or reject it. Then number 5, associating with worldly minded people, all right, karmis, worldly minded people who are jealous and envious. Okay, Mayavadi and who, what they call karmi. Mayavadi and Gyani, right? All these people we need to avoid. And number 6, being greedy for mundane achievement, all right? So we want to achieve something great and which is so useless, right? Because mundane achievement means what? Why do you call it mundane achievement? Isn't that the property is real? Isn't that the money is real? Isn't that success is real? Isn't that getting a federal title like Dattaship, Tansriship? Isn't that real? Yes, it's real. But the problem is, it is temporary. We are betting for something which is so temporary. You know, if it's going to be eternal, if the thing is going to be yours forever, then it's okay. Then it's okay. But we are working so hard for something which is going to perish one day. If that thing doesn't perish, we perishes. Our material body perishes. So everything is useless, all right? Mundane. Then after that, in chapter 3, we talk about the do's. Okay, what are the 6 principles that we should practice to this thing? Number 1 is Utsaha Nischaya Dharyat, all right? Tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte satbir bhakti prasidyate. So it says that the 6th thing is favorable, being enthusiastic, because in order to practice bhakti, you have to be enthusiastic. In fact, the enthusiasm is even important in our normal life, right? If you want to be first-class student, you have to be enthusiastic in your education. If you want to be a first-class businessman, you have to be enthusiastic in your transaction. So everything, enthusiasm is important. With enthusiasm, the person is a dead person, right? And number 2, endeavoring with confidence. All right. First, we have to be enthusiastic. Second, we must be confident in our path. And of course, the third thing is we have to be patient. Then, of course, number 4, we shouldn't do things whimsically. We should follow according to the regulative principle, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, right? Listening, chanting, and Vishnu Smaranam, worshipping the Lord, right? So remembering the Lord. Smarana means remembering. Then number 5, abandoning association, non-devotee. Again, the non-devotee association is very dangerous. And following in the footsteps of previous Acharya, what the previous Acharya did, we just simply follow. We no need to reinvent the wheel. And number 6, yes. So these are the 6 principles that's favorable for executing the devotional service, right? Then after that, we went to text 3. So what we understand in, sorry, in okay. Then we went to text 4. Okay. So what we have understood in text 4, Tadati pratiknati guhyam akyati prichati punte bojayati chaiva satvidam priti lakshanam. So that means what is supposed to be a living relationship with the devotee, where it will be between devotee. When we are telling that, okay, now you shouldn't avoid, now you should only make friendship with devotees. So how a devotee friendship should be? Like giving gifts in charity, right? Darati, giving and accepting charitable gift. So revealing one's mind, guhyam. Guhyam means confident, confidential. Okay. Revealing one's mind, then inquiring confidentially, accepting prasadam, offering prasadam. So these are the 6 symptoms shared by devotees. Then after that, Krishna also, Rupa Goswami also say, but you should know among the devotee community, there's also 3 kinds. Okay, there's also 3 kinds of devotees. Who are they? Kanista, who is a beginning devotee, Madhyama, who is advanced, and Uttama is a pure devotee. So we also studied about the characteristic. Kanista Adhikari means the one who are trying their best to chant Hare Krishna after they accept initiation. They are trying their best to practice bhakti, but they still have some flaws. They still struggle to control their mind. They still have some bad habits, here and there. Okay. And second characteristic of Kanista means they worship the deities. For them they are so attached to the deities, but they misbehave. They don't respect the devotees and the people in general. Okay. They always like to find fault. They always like to trouble, but they are devotees. So these are the Kanista. So when we see Kanista, what we need to do? We need to offer our obeisances in our mind. So that means avoid that. We just offer our obeisances in our mind and just move on. Then Madhyamadhikari. When we see Madhyamadhikari, the one who are so attached to the loving service to the Lord, but at the same time, they also very compassionate towards other fallen souls, and create a good friendship with the devotees and compassion other fallen. So when we see them, we have to immediately offer our obeisances. Right? Then at last, Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari, the pure devotee. When we meet a pure devotee in whatever circumstances, when you see them, immediately offer them obeisances. Say like you're seeing them coming on the road, you see them immediately, even on the road, you have to fall and offer the obeisances, because worshipping the pure devotee is very, very auspicious. All right. So with that, so today we're going to start text 6. All right. Chapter 6 is going to be, okay, then what is that characteristic of a pure devotee? Okay, when we meet a pure devotee, what are the characteristics? This is what we're going to study now. Just give me a second. All right. Okay, we are looking at this chapter. Chapter 6. Verse 6. Rishtay svabhava janitaiva pushascha doshair na prakritatvam iha bhakta janasya pashye gangam na kalu buddha buddha pena pankair brahmadvar dravatvam apagacchati niradharmai. Drishtai svabhava janiterva pushascha doshair na prakritatvam iha bhakta janasya pashye gangam basam na kalu budapena pankair brahma brahma dravatvam apagacchati niradharmai. Drishta svabhava janiterva pushascha doshair na prakritatvam iha bhakta janasya pashye gangam basam na kalu budapena pankair brahma dravatvam apagacchati niradharmai. So let's see. Number one, drishtai, seen by ordinary vision. Okay, seen with ordinary vision we call drishtai. Swabhava janitai. Swabhava janitai means born of one's own nature. Vapusha, of the body. Cha, and. Doshai, by the false. Na, not. Prakritatvam, the state of being material. Iha, in this world. Bhakta janasya, of a pure devotee. Bhakta jana, pure devotees. Pashye, one should see Ganga Ambasam, of the Ganges water, na, not Halu. Certainly, Buddha Pena Pankahi, by bubbles, foam, and mud, Brahma Dravatvam, the transcendental nature, Abhagachati is spoiled, Nira Dharmai, the characteristic of water. Okay, let's look at the translation. Being situated in the original Krishna conscious position. Okay, again, being situated, okay, in the original position, original Krishna conscious position. Okay, being situated in his original Krishna conscious position. Original Krishna conscious position means, that means what does it mean? That is our original position. Okay, what we have so many positions. Okay, we can be a father, we can be a son, we can be this, we can be that. But what is that our original position? Our original position is a Krishna conscious position. A pure devotee does not identify with the body. Okay, the pure devotee do not identify the body. As long as we are identified. Okay, what does it mean by pure devotee? Pure, that means when you see the water is pure, what does that mean? There's no pollutant in the water. The water is not mixed with anything. Okay, the water is 100% water. Similarly, when a person is being in Krishna consciousness, when he achieves the highest position or the original position, okay, that means he doesn't have any taint with material condition. Okay, we are all like just like the water is sometimes polluted, sometimes the water is tainted. So like that we are not in that. That means we are 100%. Okay, we are 100% in that original position. Once we achieve that 100%, okay, what does that mean? What is that 100% means? We are not entangled. That means I don't identify some. That means it's a purification of mind, intelligence, ego. Okay, so that means we understand that I'm not this body and I'm a pure spirit soul. Okay, so pure spirit soul. So in that condition, when a person achieves perfect, so what they do, a devotee does not identify with the body. For him, it doesn't identify because we are beyond the bodily identification. Okay, so being seated in Krishna conscious original, a devotee does not, pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee, okay, when we see such a devotee, Uttamadhikari, they call them Uttamadhikari, all right, should not be seen from materialistic point of view. So when we see them, we should not see them from a materialistic form of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotees having a body born of low family, body with bad complexion, or deformed body, or a disease or infirm body. All right. So when we see that devotee, such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Okay. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee having a body born of low family. Example, a person can be born in a family of a Chandala, all right, a family of a dog eater, all right, or a non-Vedic family. All this. So we must understand that we should not identify them, overlook them. We should not see them, oh, in a family, this guy is a low caste. Formerly this guy is outcast. Formerly this guy were barbarian. The guy was eating what they call beef or no, or whatever condition. We should not see that. So what we can understand from here is every living entity in the form of a human being, he has the possibility of achieving the highest perfection, that is to be a pure devotee of the right. So we are no longer, we are somehow or other thrown into a human form of life. Right? Sometimes when we are randomly thrown into this human form of life, some born in a very high caste, some born in a very low caste, some born in outcast, some born in certain outside India, some born in the family of what they call the one eats dog. Okay, some born in the family that eat cannibal. I think that day I spoke about the story. Okay, in Finland or there's in one of the Balkan state, where before the initiation, the girl was telling she came from the family of a cannibal. Okay, cannibal means the one who eats human being. So it doesn't matter. We can come from any kind of family, any sort of family, any sort of background. Okay, like for instance, Haridas, what they call Namacharya Haridas Thakur. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, he was born in a Muslim family. In those days, those born in a Muslim family are considered outcasts. They call them as Chandala. No, not Chandala, Malicha. They call them Malicha because they eat the sacred cow. Okay, the cow that we worship, they eat them. So they are called as Malicha. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, many places mentioned Malicha. So we understand Malicha means the Muslims. Muslims are considered the very, very low born and out of the out. All right. Eating meat itself is very bad, but they go and eat beef, even terrible. So Haridas Thakur born in that family. So after he born in that family, and he became a pure devotee and he became a Namacharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu named him as Namacharya, the one who are authority in chanting of holy name of the Lord. Okay, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiated him, and now he is a pure devotee. He has been lived a pure devotee. So people should not see, oh, formerly he was a Muslim, oh, he's an outcast. So how can we sing? Even the one that authored this book, Rupa Goswami, right? Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. They were born, even though they born into a very high class Hindu family, Brahmin family, but they converted into Muslim. Okay, they were the ministers in Nawab Shah. Nawab Shah Chand Qazi is a Muslim king. They were the ministers. Right? Imagine a person from this Sanatan Dharma convert to Muslim is even considered the most unfortunate one. And despite all this, and they give up everything, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiate them. And today, now the books that we have, the highest secret of devotional service and all this are authored by Rupa Goswami. And we are called Rupa Nugas. Rupa Nugas means we are the follower of Rupa Goswami. Okay, Rupa Nugas. And the authority, that means the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, the authority of this thing is Rupa Goswami. Right? So that means that's why he says that we shouldn't see them in a materialistic point of view. Okay, in materialistic point of view, because we also have imperfect senses. With our imperfect senses, what we can find, we only can find imperfect things. We cannot find them. We cannot appreciate the good things. We only can see the fault. Sometimes even you go to the most beautiful place in the world, you go there, but your eyes also only get attracted to the faulty things. Hey, look at this, all the beautiful things. Look at this. The thing that in abstract cannot be seen, but sometimes the eyes can be attracted. All right. So indeed, one should overlook the devotee upon whatever family they are, and sometimes devotee with the body of bad complexion. Sometimes they can look very ugly. Sometimes they can have very dark, black, the complexion. All right, the complexion is very black and this thing, and they can even look very ugly. So all these kind of things we should overlook. We shouldn't say, why do people look like this? Right? No. And sometimes deformed body. Sometimes you see the body of a devotee, maybe he has some disease, or say like my spiritual master who had a very massive stroke. right? His body is somehow rather like deformed. He had a very massive stroke. And we should not see that, oh, look at this, whoever is, no, look at this, he's bedridden, he's on the wheelchair, he couldn't speak straight. So this thing, because there it was also some of the sentiment happened before when sometimes when the devotee looks like this, they say, oh, they don't fit to become a spiritual master and all this kind of nonsense thing happen. Okay, it's big aparat. Aparat means offense. When we offend against the devotee, all our bhakti and all our sadhana is destroyed on the spot, right? It's destroyed on the spot. Everything is like, okay, like for instance, you're coming, you're on the path, Krishna has accepted you, you are on your path back home, back to Godhead. All right, you can be in sadhaka, you can be in any situation, or even you can be a neophyte, even just like trying out, whatever. So after all the struggle, we come. Okay, we know that we are in the queue. We are in the queue. We are going towards Goloka. But suddenly, when you just in the queue, suddenly you look at the floor. Hey, why the floor look like that? Huh? Why the cripple is sitting there? Why? No, you know what will happen? Radharani will just push you out from the queue. You know, you're already near. And he just like a snake and ladder. Have you played snake and ladder? You know, snake and have you all played snake and ladder? If yes, please put a thumbs up. That means I know that you are following what I'm saying. Snake and ladder, have you all played or not? Do you know what is snake and ladder? Oh, only Sandra. Good, okay. Others don't understand what is snake and ladder. Okay, so snake and ladder means there's a ladder and the snake. You just put the dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see the ladder, you go up. Then you come to the place where the snake head is. That means consider the snake has bite you. You follow the snake and come to the tail. All right. So this thing. So when you all have noticed playing this, looking at snake and ladder, the longest snake is at number 99. Yes or not? Do you all remember that? You can unmute and say yes, or thumbs up, or whatever. Do you all remember? There's so many snakes. Okay, you see there's a 1, 2, 3. A tiny snake will come to, maybe you're at the number 8, you come back to number 2. Then you go to, as you go up, you see the snake is even getting longer. Okay, you go to one place, maybe you can go to number 35. The snake bites you, you come to maybe 25. 10 things down. But the longest snake is at number 99. All right, just number 9. So once you're there in 99, just after 99, 100, you achieve perfection. The longest snake stays there. The longest snake stays at 99. So at that 99, once you get a bite of that snake, you come down maybe to 30. That means you lose something like 50 points. Such a long snake, you come down. So like that. So we are very near. But the snake of aparat, when we make an aparat, when we make an offense against the devotee, that's it. It's considered you just one step entering into Goloka, you come back down and fall down into this material concept of life. So it's not worth it. Please do not identify. It's just say, as long as a person is having a tilak, look like a devotee, you just offer our respect. Because we do not know how a pure devotee looks like. Because a pure devotee is someone who doesn't have external feature. Right? He doesn't glow, you know, he doesn't have a thing like behind his head, you know, that there's a light behind his head. See, he can, anybody, anyone, even a child, right, can be a pure devotee of the Lord. We do not know. So we have to be very, very careful. Okay. And of course, disease or infirm body. Sometimes you see the devotee, pure devotee having a lot of disease, right? Or the body is not full. That means like all like, you know, all like saggy. All right. So all these things we have to be careful. Should not be seen from materialistic point of view. Okay. According to ordinary vision, such imperfection may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee. So according to our imperfection, and through the ordinary vision, we see, oh, you got a lot of problem, a lot of disease and all this. But despite seeing such seeming defect, the body of the pure devotee cannot be polluted. Even though that we have seen that the pure devotee has all this kind of condition, but we must understand the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. Okay. Correct. Then it's exactly like the water. So what Rupa Goswami is comparing with the water of the Ganges. Okay. Which sometimes during the rainy season. Okay. Sometimes when you go during the rainy season, the water is full of bubble, foam, and mud. It looks so disgusting. You know, because the just imagine a normal waterfalls or river that we have. After the big rain, they all become muddy. Looks so dirty, right? So similarly, the entire Ganges water will be rushing, and sometimes we see that, oh, it looks like a bubble, foam, and mud. It looks so terrible, right? But the Ganges water do not become polluted. We must understand. When we see in the form of water, it looks not nice, but we must understand that Ganges is pure, all right? The water does not get polluted. And those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in that Ganges water. Those who are advanced in this thing will bathe in the Ganges water without considering the condition of the water. Okay, so this is the thing that you see. So being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such devotee should not be seen from materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook the devotees having a body born in a low family, a body with bad complexion, deformed body, disease, or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee. But despite such seeming defect, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like waters of the Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganges water do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Okay, now let's look at the purport. Okay. So you look at the purport here. Shuddha Bhakti, okay, or the activity of the soul proper. In other words, engagement in transcendental loving service of the Lord is performed in a liberated condition. Okay, so what is that? The Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti, or the activity of the soul proper, right? In other words, engagement in transcendental loving service. What is that engagement? Right? So Shuddha means pure. Okay, Shuddha means pure. Bhakti means devotional service. All right, the pure devotional service or transcendental loving service of the Lord is performed in a liberated condition. When a person is liberated from all these aparadha and all varieties of this thing, so they come to the level of Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti means the pure devotional service. All right. So the pure devotional service happens when a person performs in a liberated condition. So liberated from what? Liberated from identification, liberated from all kind of pollution, liberated that I am this body, liberated from all this false identification, liberated from pollution, what they call polluted thinking, okay, and liberated from all these kind of anarthas. Anarthas means impurities. We have so much of impurity of what? Impurity of the senses. All right, impurity of the eyes, impurity of the mouth, tongue. So we have 5 senses, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, and in that every senses there's many varieties of anarthas. So by practicing this bhakti very nicely, when we could able to control all these, we become to the level of Goswami. Okay, we become the level of Goswami. That means we are mastered the senses. The senses has become under control. Just like you catch a lion, all right? It's just like catching a lion, a wild lion, and turning him into a pet. Okay, so it takes so much of things. It's not an ordinary lion. It's not that the lion that born in the zoo. You go to the wild, catch the king of the jungle, bring him back, and taming him. You're trying to tame that wild that wild lion. Is it easy? You know, you tame until so the controlling the senses is just like or creating a devotee. Or sometimes there's a term. You know, my mentor Pran Govinda Prabhu used to say, right? Or creating a devotee is just like catching a wild animal and making him a pet. How can you catch a wild animal and make him a pet? It's not an easy task, right? So that means we bring all the, that means all the things become sober, everything becomes sober. So that means, in other words, that's a liberated stage. It is not that we need to wait to die to be liberated. Even while we are alive, well, in this body, we also can be liberated. All right, it's performed in a liberated condition. So in Bhagavad Gita 14:26, all right. So underline this thing, eh? It is stated, Mamchayo vavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samatityaitan brahma bhuhyaya kalpate. One who engage in full devotional service and who does not fall down in any circumstances at once transcends the modes of material nature. And this come to the level of Brahman. All right. So level of Brahman means coming to your original consciousness. Okay. The supreme consciousness is Krishna Para Brahman. And we are Brahman. So until we can understand that our original consciousness, we can come, we are not into the level of Brahman yet. So what is that qualification? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in 14:26, if one engage in full devotional service. All right. Full, what is a full devotional service? You know, as long we can wake up early in the morning for Mangalarati, right? At around 4 o'clock, we do Mangalarati, we worship the Lord, we worship Tulasi. Okay. Then we worship our spiritual master, Guru, Prabhupada, all the previous acharyas. Then we worship the Lord. Then after that, we do our japa. Then after that morning, we do reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So all these things are full devotional service. Then eating Muni Prasadam, all right? Avoid association of devotees, avoid all these things, you know, so like that. But the problem is sometimes, hey, I have not ready for worship, you know, I don't have Tulasi. It doesn't matter. Try to wake up early, because waking up early is actually very good for your health. Okay. And when you wake up early, you should start chanting. So whatever it is, in order for us to kickstart, you know, see, like for instance, it's just like you are pumping water. Okay, the water that's under the ground, you just pump, water is not coming. All right, you pump, only air is coming out. So what you need to do, you need to add on water into that pump on top, then you pump. And you keep pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping until the day the water, the entire water will start flowing out. All right. So the pumping process is the chanting. You chant and chant and chant and chant, keep pumping, chant, until the brick, until the heart tongue, the hardened tongue, the heart has all become frozen, because millions and trillions of lifetime that we have been roaming around in this material world, everything has become hardened. All right. Imagine it became so hard, nothing can go in. Okay, our intelligence becomes so hard, our mind became so hard, right? So it is also mentioned, all right? So after many, they call Sukriti. Sukriti means what? After, okay. Sukriti. Sukriti also, that means is something that that we have practiced our devotional service in many births. All right, we try to do some auspicious thing, and from there we are slowly improving ourselves. After so many births, some or other, our heart has become slightly softened. When the heart has become slightly softened, that's when we could able to accept the bhakti. All right. So now, when the thing become little moist, so we have to keep pumping and pumping and pumping until the heart, mind, intelligent, everything becomes soft, right? So once we are this, so that's why, therefore, the basic thing of soften your heart and all this is chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna. So we go on chanting and chanting and chanting and chanting, we are actually breaking. We are just like breaking open. Okay, there's a diamond in the stone, and how you can do it, we have to keep breaking. You're just chiseling, chisel until everything breaks. That's when you can see the real diamond manifest. All right. So chanting is very important. So once you come to that level, okay, and these people does not fall down in any circumstances. In any circumstance, they don't fall down because they are beyond this what they call sense perception. Advanced transcend modes of material nature. So this is the time it transcends the mode of material nature. What is that? Mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. It doesn't get affected, and then it comes to the level of Brahman. That means it comes to the perfect state, which is called Brahman. Okay. Okay, now let's look at this. Prabhupada is explaining. You all can see the screen, huh? Okay. Avya Vicharani Bhakti. Okay, now please underline this word. We are learning something new here. Avya Vicharani Bhakti. Avya Vicharani Bhakti, which also means unalloyed devotion. Okay, why is unalloyed devotion? Unalloyed devotion means the devotion that does not mix with anything else. Okay, say like for instance, what is alloy metal? Okay, you take few metal combine, it turns into alloy. It turns into alloy, right? Because the alloy is, let me the metal that doesn't rust. The metal is very hard because combination of few metals, unalloyed, alloy. But now, and it's lightweight. But here Prabhupada used the word unalloyed. That means what? It's the pure condition. It's not mixed. It's not mixed with any kind of material condition. So what we call that? Avya Vicharani Bhakti. Okay, please underline this word. You learned something new today. A person, okay, Avya Chirani, okay, Avya Vicharani Bhakti means unalloyed devotion. A person engaged in devotional service. Okay, when a person engaged in devotional service, he must be free from material motives. Okay, the reason that we are performing devotional service here, okay, maybe initially, because that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 4 types of fortunate people will come to me. All right, number 1 is the one who are distressed, the one who are inquisitive, the one who are looking for absolute truth, and the last one is the one who's looking for material happiness or comfort, money. All right, maybe we could have come into this path of bhakti, all right, because we are looking for some kind of material gain. They say, you're having this 7.5 Sanishwara. When you have Sanishwara in your chart, the only option that you have is to become a devotee of the Lord. If you don't become a devotee of the Lord, Sanishwara will not give you an easy life. Do you know that? That's why during that Elra Sanishwara, that 7.5 years of Sada Sani, what they ask you to do, go to Tirupati, chant the holy name, Govinda, Govinda, right? They ask you to fast on Saturday, and they ask you to worship Hanuman, the pure devotee of the Lord. So that means the only option, if you want to come out of 7.5 or Sanishwara situation, you should either worship the devotee of the Lord and become a devotee of the Lord and surrender yourself to the devotee, right? Say like for instance, when someone, say a robber or a thief or a murderer chasing you with a parang, take one big parang and chasing you there, and you're running. Hey, let me go. You better stop. I'm going to chop you into pieces. You see the fellow carrying a parang and running after you like a madman, and you are running for your life. So what do? You run, you enter the police station. And you enter the police station, what do? You straight away fall at the police station feet. Hey, tolonglah police, tolong saya. Apa pasal? Ada orang bawa parang mau bunuh saya. Right? We straight away surrender to the police. So we surrender to the police will come and say, you get out, or just show you point the gun, say, get out. Go away. They say, okay. Then the first says, finish. You have surrendered to the police, I'm not in control. So the same thing here. When Lord Sanishwara is chasing you, giving you a hard time, you are running, you cannot go to the police station and says, can you just kind of help me? Why? Somebody is chasing me with parang, And the policeman says, really? So it's like, so we don't do that. We are running for life. So straight away we surrender to the policeman will protect you, and the murderer will just go away. The rogues and the thieves will simply walk away from your life. So for that reason, if anyone was suffering from 7.5, the only option they have is to run and surrender to the Lord. When they surrender to the Lord, Mr. Sanishwara will bless you and go away. Okay, he won't harm you anymore. So like that. So we might have any reason that we are here. Okay, we got reason. But as we progress in Bhakti, we start to identify. Okay, everything is going on auto run, because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, do your job, don't expect any result. So that means I'm performing my duty and I'm so much in peace of mind because I don't expect any result. Right? And I'm even more peace of mind because whatever result I'm getting, whether it's good or bad, I offer to Krishna. Right? So I'm so happy that from the day morning until the night and all the income that I earn, everything is sanctified, prashadam. Huh? So everything has power. So when I take that money that I offer to Krishna as prashadam, I take the money and I don't use that money to eat chicken and mutton, right? I don't waste the money to do on this kind of sense gratification. I don't say every month, end of the month, I get my money, I offer to Krishna. All right. I give a small portion for Krishna service. Then I know my entire income becomes sanctified. My 30 days working in that office, it's become devotional service. Mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. We have discussed that in our Gita Gyan. All right. So everything is there. So now, and then I take the salary. Then after that, I offer everything done. Then I go for what they call pakute. Go for nasi kanda. Finish. That means you're taking the prashadam, the money that offered to Krishna, you're buying that. So when you start to think, oh, I cannot do that. I cannot do that because the money is sanctified. So only thing I must use the money for my maintenance and for the service of the Lord. Right? So like that, we become more and more Krishna conscious. We become more and more peaceful. We become more and more sober. Right? So like that, as we go on, when our education and our studies become more and more intensified, we become more relaxed and we stay away from this material motivation. Right? No need like just okay. So that means that's why it's so as long as we are improving, we are progressing. So that's why Avibhacharini means unalloyed devotion. A person engaged in devotional service, a person who engaged in devotional service must be free from material motives. Initially, we can start with material motive. As we grew up, we have to be very mature. Okay. In this Krishna conscious movement, one's consciousness must be changed. He have to change his consciousness. If consciousness is aimed towards material enjoyment, it is material consciousness. Very simple. And if it's aimed towards Krishna, it becomes Krishna consciousness. Okay. A surrendered soul serves Krishna. A soul that surrendered to Krishna, serving without material consideration. Anya bilashita shunyam. Okay. This is the very important verse that I'm doing research now. I'm studying now. I'm taking this kind of notes. And it keeps going and on and on and on. Anya bilashita shunyam. Okay. So we will study this Anushilanam. All right. So anyway, we study this when we go into Nectar of Devotion. Okay. So Anya bilashita, that means without material consideration. Anya bilasa means material. Sita, that means reject them. Okay, without material consideration. Jnana karmadi anarvidam. Then after that, jnana karmadi anarvidam. Right? So that means first we have to surrender our soul without material consideration. Then jnana karmadi anarvidam. Unalloyed devotional service, which is transcendental activity of the body and mind, such as jnana, mental speculation, and karma, is called pure bhakti. That means unalloyed devotion. Then Prabhupada is explaining what is unalloyed devotion, which is transcendental to the activities of the body and mind. Transcendental means what? Either the activity becomes purified or it's beyond it, transcend, or beyond that. Beyond what? Beyond this jnana. Jnana means mental speculation. Okay? They speculate, this kind of speculation, or karma, fruitive activities. So that means when the activity, the service that is beyond transcendental, beyond this jnana and karma is called pure bhakti yoga. All right, we call pure bhakti yoga, or also we call it shuddha bhakti. Bhakti yoga is proper activity of the soul. That means bhakti yoga is the proper activity of the soul. And when one is actually engaged in unalloyed, when a person is actually engages in unalloyed, uncontaminated devotional service, is already liberated as saguna samatyitan. Samatyitan. Okay? He is already liberated. That means we are the people, or the devotee are the people who actually get liberated even without even leaving the body. So Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material condition, even though his body feature may appear materially conditioned. Okay? Not subjected to material. That means the pure devotee, right? Even though his body looks like features of materially conditioned, right? So even that we think that we are materially conditioned, we are actually not. It's like sometimes when Chinese devotees become a devotee, that become a Hare Krishna devotee, Initially, they'll feel, oh, I feel like an alien. Or they say, this looks like an Indian culture. Okay, this looks like an Indian culture. We are not here. So, but as they go on, I've seen like so many devotees, they start to have a huge transformation in the heart, right? So even though their body looks Chinese, even though their body looks like what they call, there's a condition being Chinese, and sometimes the food they eat. Example, initially when the devotees, a Chinese devotee became a devotee, they couldn't tolerate eating rice on a daily basis. You know, for them it's like, oh, because I've seen there's one couple devotee became, they say, oh, I cannot like eat rice, because their staple food is noodles. Okay, the staple food. I say it's okay. You take your noodles and offer to Krishna and eat. No harm done. So like that. So there's a. But even though we see them, but eventually as they practice, they come out of it. So that's why he says he's not subject to material condition, even though his body feature may appear materially conditioned. One should therefore not see pure devotee from materialistic point of view. We shouldn't see devotees or the pure devotees from a materialistic point of view. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. And another Prabhupada that says, all right, unless unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfect. As I explained in the previous verse, there are three types of devotee. All right, there's a three types of devotee which we have spoke about: Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. All right, the Kanishta Adhikari. Okay, now Prabhupada is explaining. Okay, giving further explanation about Kanishta. All right, the Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish between the devotee and the non-devotee. All right, these devotee cannot distinguish. They cannot make a difference between what they call, between devotee and non-devotee, because he is simply concerned of worshipping the deity in the temple. For him, the deity is everything. Okay, the deity is everything. He respects the deities, he worship the deity, he buy all the good paraphernalia. But when you look at the deity, when you look at the devotee, he says, get lost. Yeah, it's not very favorable. At the same time, a Madhyamadhikari, however, can distinguish between the devotee and the non-devotee, as well as between the devotee and the Lord. Okay, and he treats Supreme Personality Godhead as the devotee. Okay, the devotee and the non-devotee in a different way. Okay, the devotee and the non-devotee in a different way. Okay, now let's move on. Anyway, this is a very short purport. It's not long. Let me see here. But even though it's short, the meaning is very deep. Okay. Okay, it's 9:59. Shall we just take a short break? We take a short break because I got to make one call. Just give me 1-2 minutes. Right? Just take a short break. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's continue. So now we are looking at this. Okay. Okay, now we are going to the next paragraph. One should not criticize the bodily defect of a pure devotee. You have to be very careful. We should not criticize, okay, the bodily defect of a pure devotee. Okay, not even criticize. When you look at that, and don't even like talk about it, right? When you go and see, hey, this blur, I think this devotee is so smelly. Okay, I think his body odor is very bad. All these, be very careful. If there is such defect, they should be overlooked. Okay, should be overlooked. What we should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, all right, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9:30. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadur eva sa mantavya samyak vyavasitosi isaha. when even if a devotee sometimes seems to be engaged in abominable activity, right? Now Prabhupada is explaining here. I mean, this Krishna is explaining. Even sometimes we see a devotee engaged in abominable activity, right? He should be considered as sadhu, still has to be considered as sadhu or a saintly person. Okay. He should be considered a saintly person because of his actual identity. What is happened to mind? Okay, because of his actual identity. Is that okay? Identity is that one engaged in loving service of the Lord. In other words, he is not to be considered as an ordinary human being. Okay, so sometimes when we see, all right, we say that sometimes we see a devotee engage in abominable activity, right? Sometimes we see the devotee who engage in a very wrong activity. Example, right? He should be still considered sadhu, saintly person, because his actual identity, right, is that of one engaged in loving service of the Lord. In other words, he's not to be considered as ordinary human being. Because sometimes we see, we all have defects. No one is perfect. And sometimes we see that certain devotee start to engage in this kind of activity, abominable and everything. Sometimes we must understand a devotee is correctly situated, but due to some material conditioning, he may get astray. He may get like carried away. Okay, so we should be very, very careful, because everybody eventually one day will become a pure devotee of the Lord. What is the qualification of the hierarchy? First we start with first we start with all this qualification, then we go step by step. Okay, let me see. I've taken some notes on this. All right. First, when we look at this Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, text 15 and 16. All right. First wave, chapter 4, text 15 and 16. First, we start with Shraddha. Okay, how we start in our Bhakti Shraddha. Shraddha means we start with a little faith. Okay. Okay, that means I know that Krishna is a supreme personality. That means like some of us are still in that Shraddha state. So Shraddha means so we have faith. Then once our faith becomes intensified, how the faith become intensified? Maybe after the Gita Gyan, we understand Krishna is there, right? So we start to believe, we start to worship Gita. Then slowly we start to create faith, right? We call Shraddha. Then after the faith is intensified, the next thing we go into more and more learning. We want to learn more. That means we're going to associate with our senior devotees, or this thing just to say, I want to know more, I want to know more. It's called Sadhu Sangha. And the third stage we call Bhajana Kriya. Okay. So after that, through their instruction, we come to the level of regulated devotional service. Then Anartha Nivritti. So once we go into a regulated devotional service, Anartha Nivritti, cleansing of unwanted habits. Then from there, we go to the Nishta in Bhajan, or fixed determination devotional service. And from there, we get Ruchi, taste. Then from the taste, we get Ashakti. Ashakti means what? Astakti, means intense attachment to Bhajan and object of the Bhajan. Okay. Then eventually we come to the level of Suddha Sattva, pure unalloyed transcendental existence, and in the form of Bhava. And finally, we achieve Prema. Okay, now let's look at this hierarchy. First, we start with Shraddha. Okay, little faith. Then after that, we start to associate with Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means, that means we start to associate, we start to learn. And through that, we come to the level of Bhajana Kriya, regulated devotional service. Then we come to the level of Anartha Nivritti, cleansing of unwanted habits. But sometimes we must understand that we may have some kind of conditioning. But what is that, a devotee and a non-devotee? What is the difference? A devotee, whenever wrong thing he does, he do it consciously and helplessly because the Maya is like, some or other, say like for instance, when you see a devotee make a mistake, it is not that he do the mistake unknowingly. He knows that's not right, but he couldn't control himself because he's not perfected his senses. But once he go into that abominable activity, say he go into some kind of activity which is not right, right? After that, you know what will happen to him? He will do that, then he come to realize, because he's still in the process of bhajana kriya, regulating. Then, of course, he's in the process of anartha nivirti. That means his process of cleaning unwanted things. So then, when you go into that, then something he realize, oh, then after that, he regret his action, then he come out of it. He regret his action and he'll come out of it. You all got it? I think that is very common for all the devotees, right? Even like in my personal self, I did the same thing. Even though after I become devotee and everything, at few particular point, I mean, formally, I also made a lot of mistake. You know, like for instance, I started to associate with some wrong friends. I mean, not to say wrong friends, they are my childhood friends. All right. Until at one moment, I went into consuming beer. But after that, I regretted. Then I started, because that's why I say writing journal is very important. Because when you write journal, you are checking and balancing your daily activity. So when I did that, oh, Krishna, I made a big mistake and I regret it and I come out of it. I'm just giving one example, my personal example. Like that, I believe that so many devotees also have experienced that. You know, it's not to say that they can go into that. Like I've seen some devotees who cannot control some senses. They do it, then after they regret it. Then they come out of it. Okay? That is devotee. That means they know they have done wrong. They identify. That means they are doing things, not to say unknowingly. All right? They regret that act. So that's why in this Bhagavad Gita, we must remember this. Even if a devotee sometimes engage in abominable activity, we must be very careful. He should not be he should be considered a sadhu. He's still a sadhu, a saintly person, because of his identity is of engage in loving service of the Lord. In other words, he is not to be considered an ordinary being. When we see some devotees who have gone astray, don't straight away put them, don't do this dosha kirtana. Dosha kirtana. I found that devotees doing this, go to the internet and put them. Put them up. Oh, this fellow did that. That's going to be a great offense. See, sometimes when you speak about him or you think about him, you can go to him and fall at his feet and ask forgiveness. But when you're going to put it in internet and going to like publish in this kind of hatred website and all these things, it's going to remain there forever. And imagine what in this world can save you. So we have to be very careful. At the same time, the devotee also must be very careful of not getting worked out and go astray, because it's not for your own. Of course, it's not good for you because you've taken a vow. But a devotee, when you're going to set an example for others, and then everybody says, oh, since that fellow have done it, I think it can be, it's okay. So you have to be responsible. A devotee, once now you're studying Nectar of Instruction. So when you're studying Nectar of Instruction, for some, it is something new. For some, it is intense, right? For some, that means you are really seriously want to improve yourself. So for those who are on the path of improvement, going to the next level, I humbly suggest that you have to be responsible, because when a great man do, common men follow. When someone sees you doing these kind of things, it can set an example. It's okay, we can do that. You have to be very careful. All right. So now, even though a pure devotee may not be born in a family of Brahmana or Goswami, now look at this. Right? Even though a pure devotee may not be born in a family of Brahmana or Goswami, if he engage in service of the Lord, he should not be neglected. Remember this. Even a person say, oh, he's not born in a Brahmanical family, you know. How can he become a pure devotee? Oh, he didn't born in the family of Buddhism. No. Oh, he born in Africa. He born in this kind of part of place which people are very abominable. No, we cannot that. In actually, there cannot be any. In actuality, there cannot be a family of Goswami based on material consideration. Now let's see what Prabhupada is telling very clearly, right? Materially considered of caste and heredity. So this is what that we are all attacked. They all say Sanatan Dharma is talking about caste system, high caste, low caste, outcast. We have to abolish it. So best way to abolish it, we abolish what? We abolish that the Sanatan Dharma, right? Let there be no Sanatan Dharma. Okay, especially the group of Periyar and also this group of this DMK, South India, the demoniac party of South India. They are all making a plan because they say we follow the caste system. Now let's look at this, how clearly Prabhupada is explaining, and how Rupa Goswami, who's not even born, who was even a Muslim. Correct? So how can there be caste system in our system? We have to be very careful. If you, especially this is for Indians, right? For Indians who become a devotee, this is a warning for all those Indians who are sitting here and all those Indians who are going to listen to this talk online in YouTube channel. I wanted to remind you of this one thing. We do not see people according to the caste, because the caste system among the Indians is very strongly rooted. I born in this caste, all right? Therefore, I'm greater than that fella. And suddenly, a person from a low caste become a distinct, and we start to make an opinion. We start to give opinion. How can these low caste fellas suddenly become can do the worship of the Lord? You know, like for instance, like they say, like that things like paraya, chakli, and all these things. It is totally uncalled for. We must remember, because in Sanatan Dharma, especially in Bhakti Yoga, okay, in this Bhakti Yoga, in this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we do not see any caste and creed. We don't identify a person by the term Paraya, Chakli, or Chandala, all these kind of things. So we must be very careful, all right? So if you think you want to improve yourself in Bhakti, you must always remember this, all right? So that's why Prabhupada explaining it very clearly and very nicely. In actuality, there cannot be family of Goswami based on material consideration. If you think that you are a Goswami, you are a Brahmana and all these things, by material consideration, no, it doesn't work. When my wife went to US, many, many years ago, she joined that family, and this certain family from South India, who are very orthodox family, and they usually eat beef. Even they cook beef in the house, because it became a norm in America to eat beef. So my wife got a shock, and they were offering her food, and she said, no, I don't take it, say. But the lady said, the old lady, the grandmother, the man's mother said, but Friday and Saturday we are vegetarian. Oh, we are vegetarian. Friday, Saturday we don't cook. Other days they even cook beef at home. Even they go to the shop, they went up, they say, would you like to take salon steak? Ask my wife. And suddenly when the wife asked, the man says, no, don't ask her all these questions. I think they all they don't do this. The wife says, no, I just have a drink enough. Right? Even a high caste people went to US, they are living as below, even out of the outcast, out of the chandalas. All right? They start to eat beef and all this. The highest leather industry in India belongs to the Brahmin. So what kind of people are they? So we must always remember this one thing, okay? We do not identify anybody in this bodily, all right? We cannot say, oh, Goswami or this thing come from the concentration, from the caste or hereditary. We can be born in a family of Goswami and all this. No, all of us are initiated into it after the purification process. When we follow the 4 regulative principles, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. And we chant our Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds every single day. Say like, for instance, the experience that we are feeling now. I don't know, some of you should have felt that. After 2 days break, and today we are trying to start back, even I find a struggle. I find it a struggle. Oh, come on, like Kalang Kabut, no, I have to take this, no, where's my book, where's my this, and I've set up my computer because my computer all dismantled. Now I'm sitting down and mentally fixing up everything else. Just imagine you take 2 days break and it's a hard struggle to restart. Similarly, when you don't chant in one day, next day when you try to chant, you're going to struggle. That's why chanting has to be ongoing. There's not a day that you can take a break from chanting. There's no break day for chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra has to be chanted every single day without fail. Right? If you think you want to take a break, the next day is going to be a struggle. Your tongue will become hardened again. I think some of you have experienced that, right? Even, I don't know sure, but for me, If one day if I don't chant, next day I chant, my tongue will become like so hard. I like then I'll be wondering, how come I finish one round in 2 minutes? In 1.5 minutes, I finish one round. Then I was thinking, what is wrong? Then I take my phone and I start record my voice. Then I listen back. Oh, no wonder. I'm not telling Krishna. I say and Ram. Kiri kiri kiri. Ali ali ali. I'm making a sound like an insect. So we must be very careful every day. All right. So we have to. So the Goswami title is actually a monopoly of the pure devotees. All right. The Goswami title is the monopoly. That means those who are Goswami means it's only meant for pure devotees. Monopoly means what? Only for them. Thus we speak of 6 Goswami, headed by Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. All right. Now let's look at this, what Prabhupada is explaining here. Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami had practically become a Mohammedan. Mohammedan means Muslim. They practically become Islam and had therefore changed their name into Dabir Kasa and Shakara Malik. They have converted and they sing. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna himself made them Goswami. Remember that. Even the Lord himself made them Goswami. Therefore, Goswami title is not hereditary. I can be the Goswami, but my son is not necessary to be a Goswami. In former birth, I can be a doctor. In this birth, I can never be a doctor. I have to go back to kindergarten again. All right? It's not something that you carry out with you. All right? The word Goswami refers to one. Okay, what the word Goswami refers to one who have controlled his senses. Who is the master of the senses? A devotee is not controlled by the senses. Or the devotee is not controlled by the senses. Okay? But the controller of the senses. So what is a controller and controlled? The senses are impulse. Sometimes your impulse. All right? Sometimes when you walk on the street, suddenly you see something beautiful. Your impulse. Wow. Sometimes suddenly you hear something, oh, Chinese New Year is coming. All right, there is a concert is happening in this place. Wow. It's an impulse. So we do not allow our senses. We control it. All right? Consequently, we should call Swami. Consequently, we should be called Swami or Goswami, even though he may not be born in the Goswami family. It's a very important statement. I hope everybody will take it to your mind, and I hope that you underline or you mark this thing. In the future, if anybody come and talk about caste system to you, you must know what. But you do not need to like abruptly avoid them and no need to create a revolution in your family. All right? You don't need to create, but keep it in your heart. Because all these things we are learning for our own nourishment, not to debate with others. Unless if the thing is required to be debated, all right, the best thing is to avoid it. Unless you are very interesting, all right? Because the same thing that happened to me, I'm telling you, if those people are starting new and all this, it's not worth debating. Because when I became a devotee, this is the debate. Because I born in such an orthodox Chettiar family, and I was against all these things. Right, my father was relaxedly against, but my grandfather, my maternal uncle, paternal uncle, all were like mad into that. I said nothing will. I remember one day when I went and do preaching, I was in Sungai Siput area, Ipoh, Perak. Then after Sungai, we go to one place called Kati Estate, which is very remote. All right. So when I went there and all at that time, I think I was around 16 or 17 years old. Went and singing Krishna and distributing books. I went into that place, suddenly they said, oh, these are the places, they talk. Then I say, what is over there? Oh, don't go there. Why? All the low caste people are there. All the low caste plus are there. Don't ever go there. Oh, really? Yeah. So then another place is, that's why we made a small drain there, big drain. All right, we make a drain so people don't go there. They stay there, we stay here. All right. I said, oh, really? Then after that, I look at them. Then after that, they said, then I said, but I like to go there. No. Are you from what caste? I said, it doesn't matter what caste. All right. I just went, I jumped. That the thing is still, okay, young time can jump, but now I was thinking about it, definitely I'll fall into the drain. I leaped. I went there. I went to one house and I called them out. They came, they got a shock to see me. Then I spoke to them. I came here to speak to you something. But when as a guest come to your house, don't you give me a glass of water? And they got a shock. You want water from us? I say, yeah, I'm this is our ethic, right? When people come to your house, you must give water. Why you're not giving water? Because I want to break the taboo. And the lady was so reluctantly went and washed the thing and brought to me and give me one cup. And I took the near, oh, smells terrible because, I said they eat fish or something like that. But just to satisfy, I just took a drink of this thing. And today, that person, devotee, that both of them moved to Ipoh. And after moved to Ipoh, and that girl married to a devotee who is from African country, married to her. And they were preaching in Mayapur, and they were preaching in Vrindavan. Then after that, I think they have gone back to Ghana. Right? And both of them are Brahmin initiated. Look at that. So we have to be careful. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, we do not need to argue. All right? Because when you argue, you're going to create this thing. Let them say whatever, let them stay in whatever belief system. But consequently, you try to make them, create a faith in them. Make them a devotee. After they start to create the faith, all right, then they come into the level of sadhu sangha. After they come to the sadhu sangha, then they start to bhajana kriya. Then after that, they regulated their habits. That's when they start to realize this, they realize, oh yes, then they refrain. Now itself, when you start to argue with them, it is total waste of time. All right, you're wasting your time, you're wasting others' time. But at the same time, we keep this principle to our heart that this is what Prabhupada said. So according to this formula, the Goswami who are descendant of Nityananda Prabhu, right? Why is this? Okay. So according to this formula, the Goswami who has descendant of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu are certainly devotees. But devotee coming from other families should not be discriminated. Against. Indeed, whether a devotee come from a family of a previous acharya or from an ordinary family, they should be treated equally. One should not think, oh, here is an American Goswami and discriminate against him. Nor should one think, oh, he is a Nityananda Vamsa Goswami. Oh, there is an undercurrent of protest. That means so at that time when Prabhupada was composing this book, he is saying there's an undercurrent protest against our awarding title Goswami to American Vaishnava of the Krishna conscious movement. Now, when Prabhupada started to offer the title Goswami to Americans, the Indians start to protest, right? Sometimes people flatly tell the American devotee that their sannyas or title Goswami is not bona fide. However, according to the statement of Srila Rupa Goswami in this verse, an American Goswami and Goswami in the family of Acharya are non-different. Okay? On the other hand, a devotee who has attained the title Goswami, but is not born in a Brahmana father or a Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu, should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become Goswami. Right? Now, Prabhupada is also warning the people who have born in the not a Brahmana father or in the Goswami family, and they should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become a Goswami. Right? So, that means I am not born in this kind of family, but now I've got the title Goswami, I shouldn't be puffed up. Sometimes it's happened here in our society. People from other castes, suddenly when they come to the level of Brahmana, oh, the way they act, oh my God. Because they have been has been marginalized. Suddenly, by the mercy of this Vaishnava, Guru Vaishnava, and they were given initiation, they given a second initiation, they become a Brahmana initiated, right? By qualification. By birth, they can be from a low caste. So when they happen, you should not think, wow, I am a Brahmana now. It is something which is very common. So now, since you are studying this book, you're all going to be a Goswami in the future. Let me explain, let me tell you, this title given to you because of the Brahmana or this thing title given to you because of your endeavor and because of the mercy of your Guru. So we should not be puffed up. We should not show off. All right, like some people like to show their thread. They like to, without show, they like to show the thread. They like to act. Be careful, because a devotee means must be as humble as a grass, as tolerant as a tree. Right? So it's not so. Prabhupada is warning that he should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become a Goswami. You should always remember, as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, what happened? He immediately fall down. So this puffed up material, he immediately fall down. And this fall down is not only for those who became a Brahmana and puffed up, and even a person who born in that family, they puffed up, they will fall down. So now what Prabhupada used, but when a person, but he should always remember that term, right? When he should always remember, as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, he immediately, it doesn't take time, on the spot, you fall down. This Krishna conscious movement is a transcendental science, and there's no room for jealousy, right? There's no room for jealousy. This movement is meant for Paramahamsa. I mean, what Prabhupada is explaining, this movement, right? This movement is meant for the Paramahamsa, who are completely free from jealousy. Param Nirmat Saranam. So Paramahamsa, Parama means supreme, Hamsa. All right, Hamsa is a swan. Okay, Hamsa, swan. Hamsa is a swan. The swan is very unique bird. It's pure. When you pour a milk into a water, the swan only drink the milk from that water and without touching the water. Can you imagine the miracle that swan does? Even the water is diluted. The milk is diluted in the water. It could just able to take the milk only and without touching the water. That's called Hamsa. So Paramahamsa means the supremely perfected one. So now I'm looking at myself and saying, well, if ISKCON movement is meant for Paramahamsa, am I a Paramahamsa? Or are you, if you're thinking that, yes, you are on your way to become Paramahamsa. Because ISKCON is a scientific movement. It is a college. It's a training center. ISKCON is a training center that train anybody. Doesn't matter from which background you come from. But once you have that faith, all right, then they provide you sadhu sangha, and through the sadhu sangha, they will teach you bhajana kriya, how to regulate your bhajan. Then also through that you come to the level of anartha nivirti, cleaning unwanted habits. All the habits will be unwanted. Then you come to the nishta. That means your fixed determination. That means you're determining your fixed. So that means it's a training center. One should not be jealous whether he's born in a family of Goswami or has the title of Goswami awarded to him. As soon as anyone becomes envious, again, Prabhupada also explained, warning, as soon as anyone becomes envious, he falls from the platform of Paramahamsa. Even you come to the level of Paramahamsa, but if as soon anyone becomes envious, jealousy and envious are the most dangerous act. Very, very dangerous, right? When you see someone so distinct, when you become envious, when you become jealous, he even can fall down from the platform of Paramahamsa. So we work so hard to go to the level of Paramahamsa, right? But when we have this envious and you fall from them, you must be very careful. That's why Prabhupada's purpose, especially Nectar of Instruction, we should make it as the law book. You should make it as a thing that you're going to read every verse every day, right? After we complete this thing, now today is this thing, a few more this thing. So you must read every verse every day. That's why they say, make a garland of the verse and put it around your neck. Okay, it's an analogy. So that means you must make sure that you read this purport of Prabhupada every single day, right? So now, if we consider the bodily defect of Vaishnava, we should understand we are committing an offense. When we start to see deformity defects in the Vaishnava body, we should understand we are making a mistake, offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. An offense to the lotus feet of Vaishnava is very, very, very serious. Don't think that this is my right to speak about it. All right? And don't ever think that this kind of offense are making you to not to think outside the box, making you primitive, or making you to become covering up. No. An offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava is very serious. Please, always remember this thing. When a person offends a Vaishnava, every good fortune that was granted to him is taken back. What is a good fortune? The taste of the Harinam. The Nama Prabhu. Sri Nama Prabhu will leave you. Once Nama Prabhu leaves you, your tongue will become numb again. Your tongue will become hardened again. Your heart will become hardened again. Right? Then your intelligence will become bewildered again. The thing that covering that protects your intelligence, the thing that covering your mind, all will leave. And that's it. Gone. Okay. So we must be very, very careful. There shouldn't be any competition among the devotees, you or me. There shouldn't be any competition. There shouldn't be any jealousy. There shouldn't be any kind of not satisfied, unsatisfaction. All this kind of activity, all these kind of thoughts should not be, you should not have the thing against a Vaishnava. Okay? Because because when we start to have this kind of offenses, because we are all in loving service. Krishna wants lovers, he doesn't want haters. And Krishna said, what? I'm not asking you to have Bhaya Bhakti, have fear and worship me. With love, Madhurya Bhakti, right? With love, come and love me, stay with me, dance with me, sing along with me. I create in heaven, which is beyond the word heaven, the place I've created for you. But if you have these kind of things, you are rejected. Okay? When everybody's happily looking at each other, when I see you as a happy, when you see me as a happy person, when we are seeing everyone equally, and all these kind of things, when someone who are jealous, what happened? Right? Say I'm having a function in my house. Right? Say my daughter is getting married. I'm creating a function and I want to give. So what I do? I rather give the invitation to those one who are very loving and very close to me. I definitely don't want to give this invitation to my envious friends or my envious relation. Or sometimes they say, no, you cannot say anything, because they are already, for the sake of it, go and give. Yeah, you go and give, they come to the place, what will happen? They start to find fault and make you angry and chase him out from the house. They get out, you're not welcome here. So like that. Same thing, Krishna will reject you. Must be very careful. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hati Mata. Hati Mata. Hati Mata means mad elephant offense. Right? What does it mean? A mad elephant can create. Okay? So, a mad elephant can create disaster, especially when it enters into the nicely trimmed garden. Imagine you've got a nice garden and mad elephant enters, or even said mad elephant enters a plantation. What happened? It will destroy everything. How it destroys? It pull everything out from the root. It doesn't push. Say like for instance, you got a plant, it just go there, it will, through the trunk you hold it and pull from the root, throw down and trample it, pop, step on it and destroy it. So like that. So mad elephant offense. So when we do this kind of offense, okay, everything is destroyed from the root. One should therefore be very careful not to commit offense against a Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instruction from superior Vaishnava. And a superior Vaishnava must be ready to help that inferior Vaishnava in all respects. Or one is superior or inferior according to his spiritual development in Krishna consciousness. All right. One is superior, inferior according to the spiritual, not by birth or not by age. Sorry, not to say not by birth, not by age. All right. Oh, you're only a small chiku, 20-year-old boy. You want to teach me? We shouldn't do that. It is all, one is superior, inferior according to his spiritual development, not by age. How well is developed in his spirituality, we should surrender to him and take instruction. We should not say, you are a young boy, you are as young as my grandson, you are as young as my son. You are trying to teach me? All this we shouldn't have, right? So Prabhupada is explaining according to the spiritual development in Krishna consciousness. One is forbidden. Prabhupada explained, one is forbidden. Forbidden means what? Totally not allowed to observe the activity of a pure Vaishnava from a material point of view. We should not see the activity of pure Vaishnava or spiritual, all these things, in a material point of view. Okay? For the neophyte especially, Prabhupada is warning. Neophyte means Kanishta, the new devotee. Considering a pure devotee from the material point of view is injurious. Right? Sometimes we say, right, smoking is injurious, right? In the thing. So, considering a pure devotee from material point of view is injurious, very dangerous, right? Because especially Kanishta, who always love to find fault. That's the nature. They only respect the deities, no one else. They don't respect the devotee, they don't respect any. They misbehave. So Prabhupada is explaining, you look here. If you're going to consider pure devotee from material point of view, it's very injurious. One should therefore avoid observing pure Vaishnava externally. We should be avoiding observing a pure devotee externally, but should try to see that internal feature and understand how he engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Right? We should always look at the internal feature and understand how he's engaged in transcendental. In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure Vaishnava in a material point of view, and thus one gradually become purified devotee himself. Those who think Krishna conscious is limited to a certain section of people. Another thing, Prabhupada, those who think that Krishna conscious is only limited to a certain section of people, a certain section of devotee, or a certain tract of land are generally prone to see the external feature of the devotee. Right? Sometimes they say, oh, ISKCON maybe for Americans. ISKCON maybe for Indians. ISKCON maybe for this and that. When they're going to see that, they are generally prone to see external feature of the devotee. Such neophyte, even property, even that person can be, whatever their situation, is still called neophyte, Kanishta, unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee. Right? Unable to appreciate the exalted service. See, sometimes we have seen that so many devotees, Prabhupada associate, have done a great sacrifice in their life. They've sacrificed their young, their using just to please the Prabhupada. But later part in their life, they couldn't maintain it. Right? And they try, and after that, what the devotees, the neophyte does, they start to make a big propaganda. Look at this love gone. Look at that devotee gone. This devotee is gone. So better we don't have any of these people. We only take Prabhupada as a disciple, Guru. All these things are considered very offensive. They are still considered a neophyte because they are unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee. We must always remember that, right? Be careful. Try to bring the Mahabhagavat to their platform. Sometimes we also try to bring that Mahabhagavat, these kind of great devotees, into their platform. We should experience such difficulty in propagating, right? Okay, now, see this. We experience such difficulty in propagating this Krishna consciousness all over the world. Prabhupada explained. It's not easy. All right. We experience such difficulty in propagating this Krishna, very tough, all over the world. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte God brothers who do not appreciate the extraordinary activity of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. But this one, Prabhupada is lamenting. You know, Prabhupada is struggling so hard that time, going around the world and preaching. But he's God brother, right? So he's God brothers. That means his God brothers are not appreciating. All right, some of the neophyte God brothers do not appreciate the extraordinary activity. They don't appreciate, right? So what they do, they simply bring us to their platform, right? So he says, they simply try to bring us to their platform. Okay, downgrade them to their platform, try to criticize us in every respect. When Prabhupada going around preaching, what Prabhupada get is criticism. How can you give Brahmana to a lady? How can you initiate Americans into Brahmana? They have eaten beef in their life. They are not orthodox. All this kind of thing, they criticize. Prabhupada become very upset. So he says, they are trying to bring us to their platform. And after that, Prabhupada also continues, we very regret to this. We very much regret to their naive activities of poor fund of knowledge. Okay? We regret. Prabhupada really regret. I mean, very sad. All right? Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, now this is the verse I want to show you. Let me get a highlighter. So what Prabhupada says, we are very much regret to their naive, to the poor fund of knowledge. Okay, because we understand that this everything is possible. Okay, sometimes they say, you know, are you doing the right thing or not? Are you doing this thing or not? So Prabhupada explained, you have given, like for instance, they also say that there's one Prabhupada disciple went to a temple, and the devotee blessed him. Okay, the priest blessed him. He says, "I bless you in next birth. You're born into a Goswami family, and you start to worship the deities." Right? And the devotee became so happy when and see Prabhupada. And Prabhupada says, "Why you look so happy?" He said, Prabhupada, I went to one pujari told me, one temple pujari told me, I bless you that in next birth you'll become a pure devotee of the Lord. And Prabhupada became agitated and he said, "Go and tell him." Prabhupada told that devotee, "Go to the pujari and tell him, I bless you. Next birth, you born in America and start to propagate Krishna consciousness." So like that. So like that. So that means that's why Prabhupada says we experience such a difficulty in propagating Krishna consciousness all over the world. It's not an easy task. Even in my lifetime also, I don't think so I can do. Suddenly now itself I feel like body is waning. I don't have much energy. Imagine Prabhupada age of 70. Okay. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophytes who do not appreciate extraordinary work of spreading. Then after that, also Prabhupada explained, unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte Guru brothers who do not appreciate our extraordinary activity of spreading Krishna conscious all over the world. All right. So they simply try to bring us to their platform and they try to criticize us in every respect. Right. So then Prabhupada says that we must regret their naive activities, naive and poor fun of knowledge. Okay, now this is something that Prabhupada revealed or indirectly said that we should take into consideration. What did he say? Again, an empowered person who is actually engaged in conflict. Okay. Now, look at this phrase here. Let me delete others. Okay. Now, let's look at this. What Prabhupada says. An empowered person who is actually engaged in confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. So what we can understand from here, right? What is the understanding here? Prabhupada indirectly explaining himself. That means he said an empowered person who is actually engaged in confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being, should not be treated, right? Sorry. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. So this is the phrase that actually inspired me, right? So what we can understand from here? Srila Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. Srila Prabhupada. So what are the words that we should look at is who is actually engaged in confidential service. Who engage in confidential service of the Lord? The Manjaris, the Gopis. All right. These are the devotees who engage in confidential service of the Lord. They are not an ordinary kind of person. So we understand from here, Srila Prabhupada is none other than one of the confidential servant of Krishna, a Manjari or so on. All right. He has informed his Swarupa, his original state, original condition. He has explained that. He only informed that to Gaur Govinda, His Holiness Gaur Govinda Maharaj, and told Gaur Govinda Maharaj to keep it a secret. And Gaur Govinda Maharaj in his lifetime, he did not reveal it. Until today, no one knows what is actually Srila Prabhupada's original form, Swarupa. But here itself, he says that if it's treated, that means it's a confidential service of the Lord, should not be treated as an ordinary human being. All right? Unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna conscious movement all over the world. So we are in the movement of a pure devotee. So we all must understand. We are, all our acharyas, all our previous acharyas, all are not an ordinary living being. They are not an ordinary person. They are all Manjari. We are under the Manjari Parampara. Right? Starting from Jagannath Das Baba, even from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Rupa, Raghunath, Lokanath Swami, All of them, including Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is Lalita Manjari. Then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and our Srila Prabhupada, and also our Guru Maharaj and all these things. They are all under the parampara of Manjari. That's why if you are here attracted to this Bhakti, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, right? You are, just think who you are. What is your possibility? Are you just going to be another person liberated back from back to body? No. You are an extraordinary person. You're going to go there and serve in that confidential pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, right? Maybe you're going to be the servant of the servant. That's why we call Dasanudas. We are the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. We are not attracted to any form of Lord Narayan. We are not attracted to any form of Lord Vengadachalapati, whatever form of Vishnu. There's no attraction. Even not attracted to go back to Vaikuntha Loka. We only want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. So that is the instruction that given forth in this Nectar of instruction. If you are reading these, if you're attracted to these studies, and those who on Facebook or YouTube, you are very attracted to this, let me tell you one thing. There is a possibility that you are not an ordinary person. As what Prabhupada mentioned, that ISKCON meant for Paramahamsa. See, very indirectly mentioned, but when we scrutinizingly study this book, we understand. So we have the potential and possibilities of being a Paramahamsa. So don't spoil it by this little aparat. Don't spoil it with little ego. When we all have a big fat ego to show that supremacy of ourselves, our education, our background, our beauty, our family, we do not need to show our fortune. We do not. Even how rich you are, but when you go to the temple, you are the servant, right? You should be immediately able to offer obeisances to others, because that's what it means by Dasanudas. Do not bring your identity. Do not bring your understanding. Do not bring your likes and dislikes. When you are asked to do something, you just simply do it, because you are a servant. We must always, that's why we give a name Das at the back. All right. We always must remember that Das. Okay. Das. That means we are always a servant of the Lord. This is very inspiring, actually. Right. So the last paragraph, when one criticizes a pure devotee, Prabhupada is giving, Prabhupada, of course, is speaking it's not, sadly, he's saying, when one criticizes a pure devotee, he commits an offense. Vaishnava aparat. That is very obstructive and dangerous for those who desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. A person cannot derive any spiritual benefit, cannot, right? When he offends the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Everyone should therefore be very careful not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava. Again, Prabhupada is explaining empowered Vaishnava. So Prabhupada is identifying himself as empowered Vaishnava. Yes. Should not be jealous. Be very careful and not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or Shuddha Vaishnava. It is also an offense to consider empowered Vaishnava as an object of disciplinary action. Right? So when you start to see that this thing, oh, we have to discipline him, right? We have to we have to put him away from our mat. So we're very careful. And it's very offensive to try to give him advice to correct him. So I think they all try to correct him. So it's very offensive. So when we speak to a guru and this thing, we don't try to correct him or we don't try to advise him. We only take instruction. It's just like a relationship between a army general and the soldier. General says, go that way. Even though you see a ditch, you just go. Right? Just like the landing of what they call the D-Day. The German from up there, they're shooting. And they're very sure they're going to die. Already soldiers. When they say rush, everybody jump into the water and just went. They don't even water how deep is the water. Many people drown. They got so many things. When they jump, they go inside and they start drown. They died even without fight. That is how the relationship. When the Guru instructs, we follow. Because the Guru's instruction is Krishna's instruction. Right? The same thing. Because once we train ourselves here using our material condition, material senses, so that we can go back home, back to Godhead and take the instructions when they come into their original condition, like Sakis, Manjaris, Gopals, Gopas. There are a lot of things. So all of them are all the attention dovetailed to Krishna. We don't have any separate enjoyment there, because being with Krishna is full of enjoyment, right? You just go and have fun with him, right? So one can distinguish between a neophyte. So that means one can distinguish between a neophyte Vaishnava and an advanced Vaishnava by their activities, right? So now again, when you see a neophyte Vaishnava, offer your obeisance in your mind and just stay away. But when you see an advanced Vaishnava, when you see him, immediately fall at his feet and take his blessings, right? It's worth it, right? So that's why it's called advanced Vaishnava, and also by through the activities. The advanced Vaishnava always situated as the spiritual master, okay? And the neophyte always considered his discipline, right? And considered his disciple. So that means we understand, advanced Vaishnava is spiritual master, the neophyte is always his disciple. The spiritual master must be subjected to advice, okay? The spiritual master not to be subjected to advice of a disciple, right? He should not take advice from the disciple, all right? That means not subjected. Nor should a spiritual master be obliged to take instruction from those who are not his disciples. Spiritual master is not obliged, right? This is the sum, okay? All right? So this is the sum and substance of Srila Rupa Goswami advice in the 6th verse. So this is this thing that we should keep ourselves, protect ourselves against all these offenses, right? So with this, we end the session here. We have finished 6. Next will be 7. So now we open for a question. Any questions or any comment? So in chapter 7, we're going to study, all right? Now, the holy name, character, pastime, and activities of Krishna are all transcendental sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue is one afflicted by jaundice of avidya, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by careful chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish. Okay, this is going to be a very beautiful verse tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, Saturday. Still, my son is having a break. He's on a school holiday, so I don't have any activity. So we can meet in the morning, 9 o'clock. But tomorrow we may overshoot a bit, because I also like to share some Shiksha Mata, Shiksha Staka. Okay, and all this, because tomorrow is the day that we're going to understand the name of Krishna, and all these are equal. But the best way, that the only sense that we can feel Krishna is our tongue, right? We don't have that facility to look at Krishna. We don't have the eyes to see Krishna. We don't have the ears to hear about Krishna. But only thing that we can utilize, the best organ to utilize is tongue. So what is it? We'll discuss tomorrow. So any questions? Any comment? All okay? How do you feel after 2 days coming to a class? Do you feel like dull? Feel like kick start again? Are you all there? Hare Krishna. Okay. I think all of you are engaging in your work while listening to the class. It's okay. Anyway, it's good. But please watch again this video. I think this is very important. If you don't understand, go ahead and study again, right? So we meet again tomorrow on Saturday to discuss on verse 11. Till then, have a beautiful day. Vancha kalpaturubhescha kripasindhu devacha paditanam pavinibhyo Vaishnave Bayo Namo Nama. Hare Krishna. Have a nice day. Bye. Go run.